Happy May, everyone, and thank you for joining me. It's hard to believe that the months are going by so quickly. I think I say that every month, but it's still realistic. Today, we're going to be looking at the benefits of phytonutrients for daily cleansing. I'm Joanne Carr, and I will be your moderator for all of our consumer wellness series for 2025, and hopefully also next year. So you've probably heard the term "let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." That was Hippocrates, of course. And it's all about diet. And I mention that every time we do these types of educational webinars is that we really need to rely on what we're eating every day. It's really the foundation of our health on a day-to-day basis. And when I talk about supplements, they're just an added benefit. And if we choose the right supplement and we make some lifestyle changes, we don't have to go hardcore or anything like that. It is amazing how we see changes in our body. So, we're going to look at phytonutrients today and how they can be used for daily cleansing, not just sporadically, every 3 or 4 months or every 6 months. You'll understand a little bit better about what I'm trying to convey here as I go through the slides. But let's look at the meaning of phytonutrients. When I talk about phyto is just a fancy name for plant. So any nutrients coming from plant sources, they're all naturally existing, they're natural compounds, and they help protect the plants from germs, fungi, bugs, and other threats. So if we consume them ourselves, the hope is that we can protect our bodies internally from germs, fungi, and other threats, viruses, bacterial infections, and things like that. So we're consuming phytonutrients or nutrients coming from plant sources in order to gain the benefits of what they have to offer to protect themselves from what's going on in the environment. Ultimately, we're going to protect ourselves at the end of the day. There are more than 25,000 phytonutrients found in the plant kingdom. That's a lot of phytonutrients out there. Now, we're not going to consume all of those. That's far too many for us ever in a lifetime, realistically, to be able to consume daily. But phytonutrient rich foods, they include different colors of fruits and vegetables. They can legumes, herbs, nuts, tea, whole grains, and spices. So, again, back to what we're consuming in our diet, what we're eating on a regular basis. If we're eating a variety of different fruits and vegetables that are different colors, those different colors are going to provide support for the body and going to protect our different organ systems. Now, phytonutrients, they do affect human health in a positive way, but they're not considered what we would say call macronutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, or even vitamins and minerals for that matter. We're looking at an antioxidant approach. And I know many of you have joined me in the past for our talk on antioxidants and how they benefit our system. So, how can these phytonutrients help us? Well, again, coming from plant sources, herbs, spices, they can affect us in different ways. They can support us from an antioxidant perspective, which is really the primary focus here today. Really protect our body on more of a cellular level and prevent oxidative damage that leads to disease. Now, oxidative damage can be the result of stress, ongoing stress. That stress could be from physical and or emotional stress on the body. It could be the result of taking medications. It could be the result of a poor diet. These are just a few of the things that can affect oxidative damage in our system. And then that creates inflammation in the body. And whenever we're looking at the omega alpha supplements, inflammation can be contained. It can't be completely eliminated by the use of supplements and changing our diet and how we eat, but we can control the inflammatory process somehow with phytonutrients. And they're just one of many ways that we can go about doing this. We can look at spices, ginger, we can look at curcumin and turmeric, and these are good examples of very potent antioxidants and their ability to control the inflammatory process. And some of these phytonutrients, they are going to support our immune system. They can really support any system. They can help with detoxification, and that's what we're going to be really focusing on this morning. And really, when we're cleansing, we have to keep in mind that we want to be controlling inflammation as well, because inflammation, if it goes on and we don't deal with it, we know that our health can become worse over time. So phytonutrients will help prevent damage by carcinogens, of course, free radical damage caused by too much sun on the skin or damage to the skin. We look at UV radiation, tobacco smoke, environmental pollutants, and the environment is just one of many components involved with damage, oxidative damage. So we're going to start with the liver to start today, and looking at ways that we can support our liver on a more ongoing basis if we're dealing with more chronic liver related issues. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit more detail here. So, Liver Plus, and for those of you who have joined me before when we talk about our liver flush and our kidney flush and our lung flush, those flush products are wonderful to have, but we normally don't recommend them long term, not because they're going to harm us, but because they're only needed for a short period of time. Now, these plus products that we're going to look at this morning provide more antioxidants to the body. So whenever you see liver flush and liver plus side by side, I normally recommend a flush first to cleanse or flush toxins out. And then for people who suffer with hormonal imbalances, more chronic issues like digestive issues, skin issues, gallbladder issues. And yes, we do recommend our liver support formulas for people who don't have a gallbladder as well. So please keep that in mind, a common question that we get. Cirrhosis, elevated liver enzymes, fatty liver, which quite often is related to diet. And then we have the non-alcoholic fatty liver syndrome, which, people who don't even drink or have never have had a drink, an alcoholic beverage, develop non-alcoholic fatty liver. And that, again, we can look at the liver just producing more cholesterol naturally. It could be diet related, of course, but there's ways looking at liver plus that we can support fatty liver or hepatitis. And these are some of the things that are considered more chronic: elevated liver enzymes, fatty liver, hepatitis, cirrhosis. These are issues, especially when we look at hepatitis or cirrhosis, they cannot be well, I guess you could say we support the liver. We can never reverse what's been done with cirrhosis or hepatitis. We can't reverse these conditions. And I know we're not supposed to use the word cure or heal, but we can support the liver through the herbs used in this formula. And this product works the same way as the liver flush. It just has higher levels of antioxidants than the liver flush does. So it helps to detoxify the liver. It helps to reduce inflammation in the liver, but it also helps to restore healthy liver function. So yes, it's cleansing, but it's very restorative. And that's an adjective that I use to describe all of our cleansing formulas or all of our organ support formulas. In fact, all of the formulas we make at Omega Alpha can be considered restorative. So yes, they cleanse, but they also restore health to damaged tissue. And we know inflammation can negatively impact tissue function. So basically enhancing blood flow to the liver so we get more oxygen and nutrients flowing there, and help to expedite these waste materials in a more efficient manner. So people who have been dealing with liver related issues, and when we think about it, the liver is an organ that aids in digestive functioning. So many people have digestive issues. So the liver plus may be something you might want to try yourself or suggest to customers and things like that. Now, Liver Plus is an encapsulated way to support the liver. Not everybody likes liquids, so they may not necessarily go with the liver flush for that reason. The Liver Plus is great for us when we travel. We normally recommend taking one capsule 3 times a day with food. Taking supplements with food is always a better way to better absorb what is in the capsule. Now, milk thistle. Milk thistle is an herb that's used in a lot of liver cleansing formulas. So many of you, if not all of you, probably recognize this herb. Milk thistle is used by itself for a lot of people. A lot of people find that milk thistle on its own works better than anything else they've tried. So, who are we to suggest that they try something else? If you find something that works for you, you feel good when you're taking it, you notice a difference, then please stick with it. I always say we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. So, again, keeping things as simple as possible in a very confusing and overwhelming world with regards to the supplement industry. There's information out there that can be very overwhelming for people. So, we like to just support people by keeping things simple. And if you ever want more in-depth science-based information, and all of our formulas are based on science, please let me know and I'd be happy to send that information to you. So with the milk thistle basically helps with liver cell regeneration. And our liver is the only organ, as you know, that can regenerate itself. No other organ can do that in the body. So if we're looking at liver cell regeneration, milk thistle is very well known and very well researched as a very supportive nutrient for that specifically. So it's great for hormonal imbalances, digestive issues. You'll see the same support as we would use the Liver Plus or the Liver Flush for. The difference being, if you're somebody who's never tried any type of a liver cleansing formula before, and it's your first time and you want to know what we would recommend. Would you recommend milk thistle by itself? Would you recommend Liver Plus or Liver Flush? I normally go with the more comprehensive approach when we're looking at supporting the liver, because when you take a supplement that has more ingredients in it that are targeted to liver health, you're going to find the liver is going to be better supported than just one single ingredient. Now, having said that, I did mention that milk thistle is there for people who have used it in the past. But if you've never used anything for your liver before, I would suggest going for a more comprehensive approach like the Liver Plus or the Liver Flush, based on whether you prefer liquids or capsules. It's all based on your personal preference. But there is something out there for those people who love milk thistle and it works well for them, whether they're dealing with, a fatty liver or skin health, hormonal imbalances. These types of issues take time to improve. When we look at the skin, it's not just something, our skin just doesn't become, oily overnight, or hormones are not supported overnight within 24 hours. These are health issues that have been going on for quite some time, and they manifest through the skin or through the hormones becoming imbalanced. So whether you prefer liquids or capsules, the dosing is there. If you take more, please be aware that anytime you take more than what's recommended with a cleansing formula, you might experience what we call a healing crisis or more intense side effects. So with regards to cleansing our liver, what many people will notice is that you might notice your bowel movements improve, or maybe your stool is looser than it normally is, or maybe you're more bloated than normal. Maybe you're developing headaches, or maybe your skin is breaking out. These are some of the things that can occur when we take liver supporting types of formulas. And it all depends on the individual and their diet, their age, their lifestyle. There are many factors involved with how people are going to react when they start taking these types of cleansing formulas. So we do have products available whether you prefer capsules or liquids, but they are both very effective in how they work. Now we're going to look at the kidneys. We're going to give the kidneys some love today because quite often people focus a lot on the liver. We do sell a lot more of our liver support formulas than our kidney support formulas. But I just wanted to give you some more information about why it's so important to support the kidneys. And unfortunately, most people wait until there's something wrong with their health before they start looking into supplements or healthier eating, or they call our toll-free number. And we do have a toll-free number on all of our bottles that you can call if you have any questions. But the kidneys, quite often, there are some indicators that our kidneys may be compromised in some way. If you experience lower back pain, the kidneys are located in the lower back area. So that could indicate kidneys. But again, unless we know for sure, you could take Kidney Plus or Kidney Flush, and it may not even be, if it's not a kidney related issue, it's not going to hurt you. But it's good to know what we're dealing with. So a lot of people who turn to products like Kidney Plus, for example, are people who suffer with urinary tract infections or bladder infections. If someone suffers with water retention or edema, gout is another situation. I have a colleague who suffers with gout who's currently taking the Kidney Flush and supporting his kidneys and bladder with the Kidney Plus longer term. Now, if you have kidney stones, we normally don't recommend our flush product because the flush product will flush. It will move, it could potentially move the stones around and create a blockage. So this is where the Kidney Plus is more advantageous. The Kidney Plus, I highly recommend for kidney stones, cystitis, inflammation of the bladder, nephritis, or inflammation of the nephrons, which make up, when we look up the cells of the kidneys. Anytime we see itis tacked on to the end of any health issue, it means there's inflammation. So cystitis is inflammation of the bladder, nephritis is inflammation of the nephrons. And with kidney stones, always, always go with Kidney Plus versus Kidney Flush. And that's where I would differentiate between the two. And just like with the Liver Plus and the Liver Flush, the Liver Plus capsules has a higher level of antioxidants than the liver flush. So the Kidney Plus capsules have a higher level of antioxidants than the Kidney Flush. So if you know somebody with kidney stones, or you tend to develop kidney stones, this has a lot to do with the diet. A lot of people who drink a lot of pop can suffer with kidney stones, and of course, looking at any type of food that when we look at asparagus and certain vegetables, uh, that can create the buildup of, I guess you could say, uric acid. Uric acid builds up into crystals, and that could lead to gout. So we have to be very aware of what foods we're consuming that can build up, uric acid and crystals in the body. So we recommend taking 2 capsules 3 times a day with food. Again, urinary tract infections for people who tend to get them, looking at a full comprehensive support formula for the bladder, the ureter, the bladder, again, looking at the kidneys, the bladder. This is a very comprehensive approach to the urinogenitory system. And, you can still take your D-mannose and your cranberry and other types of supplements, or if you're drinking pure cranberry juice, a great way to add to that to keep the bacteria from adhering to the bladder. This is always a great approach. The last product we're going to look at this morning is called Veggie Fruit Plus. And all of these products that we're looking at this morning can be taken on a regular basis. And this is what we call daily phytonutrient support. We're getting phytonutrients from herbs in the Kidney Plus and the Liver Plus. And we're going to be looking at a product called Veggie Fruit Plus, where we're going to be getting nutrients from both land and sea. And the nutrients you see in this formula some of them are nutrients people have never taken before, let alone taken on a more ongoing basis. But Veggie Fruit Plus is a great source of antioxidants, so phytonutrients, to support general health. So I've broken everything down into different compartments or groupings. Superfoods, you've probably read about superfoods in the past, and we've got quite an array. I'm not going to go through each one separately, but we've got quite a few superfoods in this formula, ranging from acai fruit, flax, spinach, spirulina, wheatgrass. These are some of the nutrients. A lot of people are not getting 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Now, I'm not suggesting just chug back some Veggie Fruit Plus and forget about what you're consuming in your daily diet. What I'm suggesting is that this product can be added to the diet if we feel that we're not getting the nutrients we need from fruits and vegetables. But ultimately, the best thing to do is get our nutrients from our diet. And people are concerned as well about farming practices in the soil being basically void of nutrients. And that's a problem as well, more of an epidemic than anything else. But when you see these types of nutrients in a supplement form, they're always going to be more concentrated. So from time to time, I will take some Veggie Fruit Plus if I feel like I just need a bit of a boost, or if I haven't been getting enough of my fruits and vegetables. And so I'm going to be getting a lot of antioxidants through the superfoods, vitamins, minerals, polyphenols. Grasses, like barley grass and wheatgrass, contain a lot of vitamins and minerals, chlorophyll, fiber, great for cleansing. So this is why this product is considered like a daily cleanser. And of course, you can use it together with the other supplements as well. Now, with a Veggie Fruit Plus, it will render the body more alkaline. So our systems thrive in a more alkaline environment than a more acidic environment. So this is where I usually suggest, if there's a lot of inflammation going on in the body, Veggie Fruit Plus can help to reduce some of that inflammation and bring back a little bit more alkalinity into the bloodstream. We've also got sea greens, spirulina, kelp, chlorella, things that people don't usually get. Again, land and sea, we're getting a nice combination of all of these things. So we're getting vitamins, essential fats, trace minerals. So when I talk about a treasure trove of nutrients, that's what this particular supplement will provide to our body. And spirulina is known for being a very good source of vegetable protein for people who are vegetarian or vegan or not getting their enough protein. Then this is the sea greens, especially the spirulina, is a naturally occurring source of vegetable protein, carotenes, chlorophyll, and B12. Then we have our phytonutrients, what our topic is all about this morning, antioxidants coming from different sources. And again, it's the first line of defense. Antioxidants, they are protecting our body at a cellular level, so keeping our cells alive and healthy. And that is the basis of health. If we look down to the nitty gritty where it all starts, it's all about healthy cells. And when we have healthy cells, that usually lends itself to healthy tissue, which of course lends itself to healthy organ function. And again, at the end of the day, it's all about supporting our different organs. Super fruits and veggies, back to the 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. Many people are falling short of that mark on a daily basis. People have busy lifestyles, and a lot of people like to cut corners. I'm not saying everybody does, but a lot of people turn to supplements as a crutch. And I'm not suggesting that here, but in times when we're not getting what we need, our energy levels are low. And that's one of the things I noticed right off the bat. When I start taking Veggie Fruit Plus, or my energy levels improve pretty quickly. But it's a great way of supporting all our different organ systems through antioxidants and so forth. We've got carrots, beets, again, supporting all systems, controlling inflammation. And that's regardless of the product that you ever try from Omega Alpha, all of our products will help control inflammation. We just do it in a different way. Some are herbal based, again, phytonutrients. Some are vitamin and or mineral based antioxidants, all about cooling. Think about antioxidants are like a cooling system on a hot day. When you turn your air conditioning on when it's really hot and humid during the summer months, gets you a little bit cooled down a little bit. Well, antioxidants cool the body in a overheated body or overheated system where there's a lot of inflammation going on. Antioxidants are like that cooling system or that air conditioning system. Then we've got our essential fatty acids from sunflower, lecithin, and flax. We rely on these from our diet through our supplements. If we're not getting, especially omega 3s, we need to get them from our diet. And when we're not, we need to supplement. Omega 3s are good for so many things. They actually control inflammation. They're good for our brain, for our heart, for our muscles, for our immune system. Essential fats play a role in how carbohydrates are metabolized, how our brain is working, energy production. And then we have our standardized herbal extracts, what I would call cleansing and adaptogens, altogether. Adaptogens help our systems deal with stress, and everybody undergoes stress. Some people undergo more stress than others. So we help to support our adrenal glands through the use of these adaptogenic herbs. And by doing that and supporting our adrenals or our endocrine system, we're also supporting our immune system. So these herbs are multifunctional. And of course, milk thistle is part of our cleansing formulas. And so helps to basically escort excess toxins from the liver into the bloodstream and out, either through the skin or through bowels when we have a bowel movement. We also have probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes in here. So we've got microbiome support, and every time you turn around, we're reading something about our microbiome, and it's very important. There's a reason for that, because our microbiome is where it all starts ultimately, whether we're dealing with immune, digestion, even brain wellness. And I think some of you might have joined me for our link to from the microbiome to mental health, and there's definitely a link there. It's what we call a two-way street. So these prebiotics and probiotics create a lovely microbiome or help to support our microbiome during times of stress, or if we've been on medications or anything that's going to throw off that delicate balance of the good and the bad flora. And then we also have our detoxification support through apple, beetroot, milk thistle, spirulina. We're seeing some of these nutrients showing up again. This blend is essential in helping eliminate waste metabolites from the body. It's not hardcore. It's not going to purge the system. None of the herbs or the nutrients we use for whether you're using the products daily or every 3 to 4 months or every 6 months, there's nothing that's going to purge your body or create an effect that's so intense that you're not going to be able to function on a daily basis. We don't use any purging herbs or nutrients in our formulas. And there are cleansing formulas out there that are considered purging and then create more of an intense, what we call a healing crisis. So you won't be sidelined by taking these formulas daily. You don't have to know where the nearest washroom is at all times. It's not like that with our formulas. They're very gentle, supportive, and restorative. So whether you want to take the capsules because you travel a lot and it's just a little bit more practical for you, we also have a powder. So you're going to mix 1 teaspoon into a glass of water. You're going to drink it and go on with your day. And it's going to provide all these wonderful nutrients for your system. So we've got powder, we've got capsules. It's a concentrated food formula, and we are not the only company that has a green food supplement, far from it. This is a freeze-dried powder. And basically, we mix it in with water or just take it with a glass of water. And drinking more water, I'm going to talk a little bit about that when we look at our next slide, and we look at supplement strategies, because once you have the knowledge or the information, it's always nice to know how to take the products to use them most effectively. That's ultimately the end game. Just like with anything else in life, there's always a strategy involved. So that's no different when we look at how we take supplements. So it's a concentrated food formula. It's a freeze-dried powder. We've got 18 superfoods, 3 greens. We've got 7 probiotic strains, 3 prebiotics, and 3 enzymes, again, helping with GI health. And also when we're looking at the way we take probiotic strains, it's always a good idea to take a variety of different strains, not just one, because you're going to protect your system more with a variety of different strains. We have to keep in mind that there's trillions of different types of bacteria that reside in our gastrointestinal tract. There's no sugar added. Not a bad taste. Again, taste is subjective. So what I think is good, others may not, but you can always add it into a fruit juice, a protein shake, or a smoothie if you want. It's perfect for a low glycemic food, or if you're on a low glycemic diet, if you're watching blood sugar, it's a great supplement that you can add to your daily regimen. There's 14 calories per 6 grams serving, so it's not high in calories per se. I wouldn't suggest it as a standalone meal replacement. It's definitely not meant for that use, but you can add it to a protein shake if you want to add more protein or you add more fats to make it more comprehensive. And the capsules are available for people who are on the go and travel a lot. That's a lot more practical for them. And lastly, we're going to look at the strategy slide. So now we know that we've come to the end of the presentation this morning. Just to give you some ideas of how the products can be used if you do want to combine them together. Liver Plus or Milk Thistle can be taken after liver flush. So if you've taken liver flush before, and we normally suggest starting with liver flush, but again, if you don't like liquids, then you can just use Liver Plus or the Milk Thistle capsules. And it can be used long term. The capsules, the Liver Plus, the Milk Thistle, they can be used on a regular basis, ongoing. If you need to take them for 6 months, you can. It's definitely safe if you're dealing with more chronic liver related issues like hepatitis or cirrhosis and you just want to maintain the health of the liver. We're not going to reverse these conditions, please keep in mind, but we can try to help improve the quality of life through support through the liver. Same with Kidney Plus. It can be taken after the Kidney Plus flush, or if you prefer capsules, it can be taken instead of the kidney flush to cleanse your kidneys. And again, Kidney Plus and Liver Plus can be taken together. You don't have to separate them. You don't have to use one or the other. They are safe to be used together. In fact, all of the products can be used safely together. Veggie Fruit Plus can be taken daily to provide needed nutrients from land and sea. And again, there's a lot of nutrients in Veggie Fruit Plus that most people do not get ever, let alone, for a month at a time. But that combination in this freeze-dried powder really makes a difference in energy, supporting the skin, the immune system, different systems, especially as we go through seasonal changes now. I find Veggie Fruit Plus can be excellent, and especially if people are not eating properly. Definitely recommend Veggie Fruit Plus. Staying hydrated when we're looking at daily cleansing options. Very important. Most people don't get enough water. A lot of people will say, I don't like drinking water. Well, you could drink herbal teas. In fact, you can drink a dandelion tea or burdock tea. Different types of teas can support the liver, of course. Milk thistle tea. There's different types of teas available for people, on a cooler day that would like a warm beverage, or you can just add lemon to your water. There's different things now we can add to our water for people who want a flavor in their water. But keep in mind that herbal teas would be considered a glass of water if you're getting a cup of tea. I'm just trying to incorporate more liquid or fluid versus waiting till we're dehydrated and we're really thirsty. This is a tough act to follow to get people to drink lots of water, because a lot of people I talk to say they don't get enough water. And especially when you're cleansing the body, we cannot be dehydrated because it will negatively impact how toxins are released via the bloodstream. If we're dehydrated, it also concentrates the urine and increases the risk of infection for people who have kidney issues already. So this is why we want to push all of the toxins out of the body, and liquids are the best way to do that. Herbal teas, water, maybe adding lemon to your water, whatever gets you to drink more water, that can be beneficial. All the supplements can be taken together, or you can take them one at a time. But due to the very gentle nature of these cleansing supplements, I've not heard in 18 years anybody experiencing a healing crisis taking any of these supplements. Yes, you might experience a little bit of bloating, but nothing so intense that it sidelines you so you can't get out of bed in the morning. Nothing that intense. So very gentle formulas, especially if you're going to be taking them on a daily basis. And again, if you're on medications, which are medication, if you're taking any kind of medication, we normally recommend taking our supplements at least 2 to 3 hours away from medications, especially our cleansing related formulas, because when you cleanse, you release toxins from these organs. If you take these formulas at the same time as a medication, you could render the medication less effective, and we do not want to interfere with the way medications are working for people. So that brings me to the end of this morning's presentation. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything that you'd like to share? If you've used any of these supplements before, please feel free to write out your questions in the chat or write it in a Q&A. And again, I'm always here for everybody. I will be sending a link to the recording out to everybody tomorrow, along with a copy of the presentation. And if you do have any questions, maybe you don't have them today. If you moving forward, if you ever have any questions, you can definitely reach out to me. I know I've heard from many of you in the past, and I look forward, if you are looking to learn more today about pet detoxification or our equine mobility webinar this evening, please feel free to join. I thank you for joining me this morning, and I hope to see you again next month. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Have a wonderful day.